This is no time to get like a feel-out fight. He's got to hit the ground running. And going in with Alexander Usyk a second time with a new trainer is very risky, but at the same time I also understand why he's doing it. He's addressing a problem that he feels that, he just needs a fresh outlook, a fresh output. It's just a fighter only gets one opportunity in one career. He's got to make the most of it. And I think that's what Anthony Joshua's doing.
Anthony Joshua's recent loss to Alexander Usyk proves he's got holes in his game, which AJ himself will be the first to admit. His humility, his openness to learn and improve, and his willingness to fight all comers. These are just a few things I admire about Anthony Joshua. That said, I think the Usyk AJ 2 fight comes too early, and I personally think Anthony Joshua should not rematch Usyk right away. Hey, what's going on, Ringsiders? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks in advance for your support and welcome to the channel. In short, I think Anthony Joshua can beat Alexander Usyk. It's just that he has way too little time to do it, when in actuality, he finally has the chance right now to properly rebuild himself for the long term. First, AJ has to find the right trainer that fits his needs. Then he needs to adjust, i.e. probably move to the United States. And even if AJ's new trainer turns out to be the perfect fit, whoever this may be, AJ has a very short time to make the proper adjustments tactically, physically, i.e. his cardio, to execute the tactics, and psychologically, i.e. willingness to commit to his new approach with the risks that are involved. Against a crafty southpaw who outboxed, outsmarted Joshua last time around, who has more skills than AJ and more overall experience than AJ. So as of right now, knowing Usyk will be even better prepared for Usyk Joshua 2, having his win over AJ on September 25, 2021, Anthony Joshua is taking a huge gamble. And today we'll discuss 3 things to keep in mind moving forward. Number 1, Usyk knows he's superior to AJ right now. That's not to say Anthony Joshua can't hurt Usyk. That's not to say Anthony Joshua can't beat Usyk. And I don't think he's underestimating Anthony Joshua at all. However, mentally and psychologically, Alexander Usyk knows he can beat an elite super heavyweight, in this case Anthony Joshua. Now there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence, and Alexander Usyk walks that line. Let's go back to the end of 2018, when Anthony Joshua held all of the world heavyweight titles with the exception of one. AJ came off a second successful unification match and a 7th round TKO victory over former WBA heavyweight world champ Alexander Povetkin, and was still undefeated at 22-0 with 21 wins coming by way of stoppage. Ahead of his undisputed world title defense against Tony Bellew in November of 2018, Sky Sports interviewed Usyk and was asked to make an assessment of Anthony Joshua at that time.
Абсолютно никаких странностей. Боксер достаточно обученный, школьный. Странностей абсолютно никаких не вижу.
Call it arrogance, call it confidence. All Usyk gave were his perspectives and observations on Anthony Joshua. The difference between arrogance and confidence? Actual proof, because action speaks louder than words. So fast forward to September 25th, 2021, and we know the story of what happened in Joshua versus Usyk. In the immediate aftermath, Usyk was asked about his experience in the ring with the now former unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua.
Was that the fight you expected to have from Anthony Joshua tonight?
Это то, что ты ожидал от Anthony Joshua?
Не, пожестче ожидал.
No, I thought.
Может быть, я просто был готов к этому.
I thought he was gonna be tougher, but maybe I was ready for it.
Again, call it arrogance, call it confidence. But Usyk gave his assessment on the fight. And between the lines, what Alexander Usyk is saying, mentally and psychologically, he is superior to Anthony Joshua as of right now. Number 2, changing AJ's approach for the Usyk-Joshua rematch.
I took a loss today, but for me, in my mind, I know how much that's going to elevate me for the next X amount of years in my career, providing I use it as fuel. If I just brush up on a few little things and I dedicate myself that bit more, that's the way I got to look at things, and I feel like I can then use that for the next X amount of years in my career to just get back on that gravy train.
I Anthony's already addressed that he's learning on the job, and he showed that in the Ruiz rematch, and I've got no doubts that he applies himself, which he will, that he'll get a great performance in the rematch, because Usyk's boxed tremendously well tonight, and Anthony will have learnt loads tonight. You've got to apply better pressure with a fighter like that and not give him too much time.
Now this was an enormous red flag because Joshua's loss to Usyk was completely different than his loss against Andy Ruiz Jr. on so many levels. Fact is, unlike Ruiz, Alexander Usyk is always in shape, and as Joshua versus Usyk has shown, even at heavyweight, Usyk has a better gas tank than Anthony Joshua, which is just one of the advantages the Ukrainian has over AJ. So there has to be a change of approach, which has to do with so many variables such as confidence and psychology, as I believe Joshua hasn't fully recovered from the Andy Ruiz Jr. loss.
As we've seen tonight, Usyk's a very good boxer, but you've got to apply pressure behind your jab and your right hand, and you've got to keep him off balance, and you've got to put shots together when you get there.
No disrespect, to me it's just clear that Rob McCracken is not the man to assist Anthony Joshua to reach the new level that he needs to be competitive or maybe even beat Alexander Usyk. Fortunately, Joshua received that memo, and by the looks of it, he has moved on from his former trainer, Rob McCracken. So who will be guiding Joshua, preparing him for Usyk Joshua, the rematch? Number 3, Joshua's new trainer. What Anthony Joshua needs is a trainer who can prepare him tactically and psychologically to press the action and put it on Usyk. Basically tap into the old Anthony Joshua, but with the experience and wisdom he gained in the last 2 years. Taking a page out of Tyson Fury's book, specifically Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3 and Tyson Fury versus Steve Cunningham after round 3. So right now Anthony Joshua is in the United States, having visited a merit of trainers such as Virgil Hunter, Eddie Reynoso, Ronnie Shields. In my opinion, all of these trainers do not offer what AJ needs right now. Virgil Hunter has proven that he needs time to implement his teachings onto his fighters. Same goes for Eddie Reynoso, which we have witnessed recently with Andy Ruiz Jr. in his comeback fight against Chris Arreola. And by the way, training alongside your former conqueror would make a bit of an awkward fit, in my opinion. Suitable trainers for Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, Jonathan Banks, who comes from the Kronk Gym lineage, and because of his previous experience with heavyweights. Freddie Roach for his offensive-minded approach. Roach, who also has experience with heavyweights, having worked with the likes of Vladimir Klitschko, Andy Ruiz Jr., Mike Tyson, and not too long ago, Tyson Fury. In my opinion, the most interesting option would be Joey Gamache, as Gamache prepared Otto Wallin for Tyson Fury, and that turned out to be a tougher fight than the Wilder Fury 2 fight, and tougher than Fury versus Wilder 3. Also, Joey Gamache prepared Teofimo Lopez ahead of his fight with Vasyl Lomachenko, who as a fighter has similar fighting style as one Alexander Usyk. So far as a pro, Anthony Joshua has proven to learn on the job fairly well. Question is, will Joshua find the trainer that suits his immediate needs, preparing and equipping him accordingly for the Usyk-Joshua rematch? As I said, I think it's a bit too early for Joshua to jump right into the Usyk-Joshua rematch because of some of his clear deficiencies which need to be addressed properly under the right guidance with more time, i.e. fights in between. And I think moving forward, Anthony Joshua has to correct these deficiencies, not just for 2022, but beyond that. In part 2, we're going to discuss more in depth with an example from the past and how history can repeat itself in favor of Anthony Joshua by not taking the immediate rematch with the undefeated Alexander Usyk. These are just my thoughts. Let us know yours in the comment section below. What do you think of Anthony Joshua pursuing the immediate Usyk rematch? If you're new to the channel, we cover boxing and combat sports through mini documentaries, backstories, and much more. So if you enjoy that type of content, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, i.e. inspire us to create more quality content for y'all. Thanks in advance and welcome to the channel. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.